Come a little closer.
YouTubers, what is up? Namaste, Dan here with Sprouted. Thank you for tuning in. This video I'm going to break down why you should drink wheatgrass. You need convincing because this tastes like a freshly mowed lawn, we all know that, and it smells like it too. However, the benefit is it could be, arguably, the most nutrient-dense substance on the planet if you look at it pound for pound, carb for carb, ounce for ounce. So we're going to unpack the reasons to drink wheatgrass. Check it out. All right, folks, here we go. 5 reasons to drink wheatgrass. 4 are going to be evidence-based. 1 is conceptual. Before I begin, we're going to take some shots of wheatgrass. I'm going to take you into the juicing station. We're here at the Ann Wigmore Natural Health Institute in Aguada, Puerto Rico. It's beautiful here. Very special place in my heart and many others. It's not just about the nutrients. People come here to cleanse, to detox, to heal their spirits and their minds. But here's a disclaimer real quick. I will convince you to drink wheatgrass if you don't like it. At the end of this video, you will like wheatgrass. And if you like it, you'll like it even more. I'm just saying. I wanted to applaud your interest in getting interested in wheatgrass, even being on this video, on this channel. You're a step ahead of the game if you're interested in living food. First, you gotta practice what you preach. I have 3 shots of wheatgrass right in front of me. I drank a lot worse in college. I'm sure you did as well. This isn't that bad. Listen, it ain't cupcakes and cannolis. But do you want something that works? Or do you want something that's easy? Choice is yours. Salud, cheers. Cent'anni means 200 years in Italian. Saúde, as they say in Brazil. Bottoms up. That stuff is good. Now, you want to drink wheatgrass quickly after you juice it because the nutrients oxidize, just like avocados turn brown or apples. You know what's cooler than 1 shot of wheatgrass? 2 shots of wheatgrass. Also, drink wheatgrass on an empty stomach. Why? You want to let the intelligence of the plant, the DNA of the plant, of the nutrients, interact with your colon, your digestive enzymes alone. They do this in Peru a lot. Shamans will eat only 1 plant for like a week and you meditate on it. So at the very least, try to drink it on an empty stomach. You know what's cooler than 2 shots of wheatgrass? Like it's nothing. Your palate desensitizes to it eventually. All right, moving on. And now, folks, the moment we've all been waiting for. I think I've teased you enough. We're gonna go into the agricultural oasis, the microgreen greenhouse. That's where the magic happens. That's the real deal. Every time I walk in here, I feel more purposeful, more passionate, more playful, more humbled. Why? This is the legacy of Ann Wigmore. All the books, all the blogs, all the magazines that talk about raw food should be referencing Ann Wigmore. She popularized a living food lifestyle. What is that? Great question. What do we do here? Living food is food that is still living. It's that simple. There's no formula, there's no magic to it. It's a step beyond raw, step beyond vegan. Why? Well, think about it. And I have so much respect for you guys out there who keep that dietary standard. That's amazing. I can't do that. I come here for 2 weeks, about 4 times a year, you know, and that's all I can do. So cheers, namaste to you guys. But why is it a step beyond? Because there's no food miles. What are food miles? In today's corrupt food system, convoluted, backward shit where we manipulate nature and we allow things to ripen, we pluck them before they're ripe and they ripen in transit. It's so much carbon emissions just come from food miles. Essence. Those papayas, pineapple, avocados, harvested blocks from where they're consumed. Think about that. Think about how you feel after traveling on a trans-international flight across country from LA to New York. You feel a little bad, right? You cross time zones, whatever. That's how a tomato feels as well. That's how an avocado feels as well. And listen, think about the nutrients you're sacrificing if something is picked from the vine before it's ripe. That's not how nature works. We both know that. Because we were all farmers. We were all on the agricultural clock at some point. That's how we evolved. We farmed and we fucked. Sorry for the word, but that's what we did. And we can't compete with Mexico, with California, you know, on yield per acre, on production. What can we compete with them on? Integrity and transparency. Listen, I grew up in Long Island. I've worked in the city. I bring this stuff into my apartment. I bring an urban farm. It's beyond hyper local. I bring an urban farm and I harvest 75 times a year. It takes eggplant 75 days to harvest. So think about how much production, all season production you're getting when you learn how to grow microgreens, if you do it right, which is what this channel is all about. Let's go. All right. Sorry, just so much energy from all this wheatgrass I'm drinking. Boom. Om namaste. Moment of silence first. I feel like a room without a roof in here, as Pharrell says. Bursting with energy. I promised you 5 reasons. Listen, there are 101 reasons to drink wheatgrass. If you're so against wheatgrass, juice turmeric. Season your food with turmeric. Grate turmeric. Or drink spirulina. It's an algae. Those 3 things. Wheatgrass, spirulina, and turmeric. Reason number 1. Listen. There's no food agenda here. There's no supplement stack here. There's no food scientists here. There's no marketing dollars here. Do you see any marketing dollars there? Do you see anyone trying to get rich here? No. It's just pure food integrity, 101. Let me tell you all the things that wheatgrass checks off. Here's reason number 1. Gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, cruelty-free, low-fat, low-carb, no fat, non-GMO, certified organic, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on, yo. It's exhausting, isn't it exhausting? People trying to manipulate your food dollars with fucking catch terms that didn't exist a decade ago and now they do. Listen, I'm not trying to be insensitive to the people who are gluten-free. By the way, how is it gluten-free? Because it's a grain, great question. The wheat stays, the grain stays in the soil. The gluten stays in the soil and you sprout a 7-inch superfood from there. But listen, they're just gonna keep on inventing names of shit that you're allergic to, that you're not allergic to, until they find something that you are allergic to or intolerant to. And then they're gonna spend $3 billion in pharmaceutical marketing dollars and drugs trying to get that in your mouth. That doesn't sound good. I've been there. It's inconvenient. It's expensive. It's not simple. Think about all the marketing knowledge simplified into 1 ounce of wheatgrass. That sounds good to me. That sounds like I can vote with my food dollars on something that matters. Reason number 2, wheatgrass juice, 1 ounce is equivalent to 2 pounds of vegetables. Boom, do I need to say any more? But I will. Why? It's because of chlorophyll, which is reason number 3. But 1 ounce of wheatgrass juice is equivalent to 2 pounds. Some people say 3. If you're a skeptic, if you're a non-believer, and it does sound a little grandiose, how can 1 ounce be? Well, we're gonna just say 1 pound, but whatever it is, think about how convenient it is. I don't have time to digest 18 pounds of vegetables. 6 ounces of wheatgrass equivalent to 12 pounds of vegetables. Boom. So simple. Talk about simplicity. And that's what our diets need. Diets add complexity. Wheatgrass adds simplicity. I should start writing blogs about this shit. There are so many reasons to drink wheatgrass. We don't have enough time in this video to break it all down. You already know that. Wheatgrass is affordable. It cleanses your lymph nodes. It detoxifies your liver. It helps you lose weight. And I'm not a botanist or a registered dietitian, but I know how to read research. I've read it. I'm about to explain it to you. Reason number 3, botanist or molecular chemist, someone really smart. I forget his name escapes me. A lot of people have done research on chlorophyll. He compared the chemistry of this. He won a Nobel Peace Prize for it. Hemoglobin, which is the protein in our blood that brings iron to our cells, to chlorophyll, which is the protein in plant tissue that photosynthesizes their nutrients. They're molecularly identical. Fundamentally, they're pretty much the same molecule. Makes sense in my mind if I'm iron deficient. Why don't I drink something that's pretty much the same thing as hemoglobin to help me transport more iron to my cells? Our bodies, essentially, in my mind, it just makes sense. This is about you making an informed decision, what feels right in your heart, intuitively, according to evidence, what makes sense. But it really makes sense if something that's the same, it's like apples to apple. And wheatgrass is 80 to 85% crude chlorophyll. It's the most nutrient-dense form of chlorophyll. All we talk about is vitamin C and protein. It's reductionistic. It's silly. Wait till reason number 5 or 7 or whatever I end up on. That shit's exciting, so make sure to stay tuned to the end. Reason number 4, wheatgrass juice suppresses your appetite. It's an appetite suppressant. Very helpful for people who are trying to lose weight. Why? Because fasting, intermittent fasting, all that stuff, there's whole books written on fasting. It's an ancient practice. Fasting spikes your growth hormone, your testosterone. It helps you get to 6-pack abs and whatever. What's the quote, Marie Antoinette? There's nothing new, only what has been forgotten. Something along those lines. So when you're fasting, you're giving your body in 5 calories so many macro and micronutrients. It's a complete protein, hashtag You know, talk about plant power, talk about veggie vibes. Wheatgrass juice gives your body I'm not gonna say everything, but so much of what it needs, and it curbs your appetite, so it helps with fasting when you're really hungry and you're craving something. And fasting, by the way, gets a lot easier the more you do it. One serving of McDonald's fries, I'm not saying McDonald's is bad or good, this is very neutral. I used to love McDonald's, now I simply just don't eat it. I'm not dismissing or being insensitive to anyone who has this diet or that, or Atkins or paleo or carnivore or vegan, or I don't really care. I care what makes you healthy. All right, I think I'm on, I don't even know, reason number 5. Do you need more reasons? All right, I'm gonna give you them. This is the cool part. This is where things get interesting. This is the philosophical, conceptual, metaphorical, symbolic, yada yada reason, okay? But it's the cool stuff. Animals eat grass, bottom line. Everything's now gonna evolve from that. We're land animals. For my planet Earth lovers out there, David Attenborough, thank you for being a boss. In episode 4, season 1, I think it is, Grasslands, he begins by saying 25% of landmass is covered in what? In grass. So evolutionarily, what does that say about animals? They gotta get in or get out, suck it up and eat grass or die. We're animals. Like, this is the secret that everyone knows besides us. This is, like, let's take a hint. Surrender to the wisdom of the planet, of the universe, of all the other healthy animals that don't have diabetes and high cholesterol. I'm not like, you know, making fun of any of this. I'm just saying, there's no cases of that in nature. Listen, and here's what I'm gonna end with, 2 last points. We already eat so much grass, we don't even know it. Between these 3 commodity crops, they're all botanically grasses. There are 17,000 types of grass. These are all grass. Corn, sugar, rice. Don't believe me? That's a fact. Wheat, millet, rye, barley, lemongrass, bamboo. We don't eat that stuff per se, but listen, all the stuff that we ferment into, you know, beer and mill into muffins and pancakes, it's all grass. So we're mostly eating grass, tortillas, and we're like, most of our calories come from grasses, just the wrong types, okay? So if it isn't convincing enough, here's the coolest part. A guru of mine, this yogi in New York, said there's energy, atomic energy between these 2 fingers. So we're gonna end with momentum, with chi, with prana. Call it what you want. I like to call it potential energy or momentum. You're eating a plant in its most explosive growth period of its life. Does that not sound good to you? That's at day 4, about day 5. This was just sown. That's at day 6, and it gets taller, right? And it keeps on growing. That's at day 10, when it's most nutrient dense. So think about energetically what it does to eat something. When we're babies, our cells are in our brains, our neurons are differentiating, you know, millions of times a minute. I don't even know, right? I haven't studied that stuff necessarily, but I remember reading it. So it's the same concept. Wheatgrass juice is harvested at day 12, at day 10, 11, or 12. That's when it should be. And that is when it's bursting with vitality, with life force. And think about what benefit, consider the benefit that it could give you eating it, eating something that's so alive at that stage. Anyways, if that was interesting, drop me a comment. I'm still learning. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you drink wheatgrass, if you love it, if you hate it, whatever your strategies are for staying healthy. If you're interested in the equipment, the soil science, some other things about wheatgrass, check out my other videos. Without further ado, thank you again. Namaste, YouTubers. Peace out.